Okay, this whole stuff with Joe Biden, this whole situation is just really fucking sketchy to me. I'm just going out there now. And also, disclaimer, I don't like Joe Biden. I think he's a dick. I think he employs a major double standard when it comes to sexual assault and what we should be doing in the course of investigating it or who we should be believing outright. But I see nothing. I've seen absolutely nothing to say that he is actually sexually abusing people. Now, I do think that he's kind of a creep and that he doesn't really know that he's being a creep because no one ever did anything about his behavior for legitimately years. This is a thing that Joe Biden has always done. He's always been a bit handsy, all right? He's been a bit too affectionate, okay? This is how Joe Biden has been. And because no one ever said anything to him saying, hey, I kind of felt uncomfortable about this, he never changed his behavior towards anybody. So that's why he is the way he is. It's half his fault, half everybody else's fault for being fucking idiots. Okay? Now, there may be a story. I'm going to hold myself to a standard too. And this is what I do with every case. There may be evidence out there that he actually sexually assaulted someone. And if someone actually did come out and with actual physical evidence saying, hey, Joe Biden assaulted me, then yeah, I'll disavow him. But until then, I see no evidence. I'm not gonna just go out there and, say that definitively Joe Biden never did anything, because he did nothing. He didn't do anything wrong that was like on a massive scale that I've seen. Okay, I've seen nothing. And yes, to all the people out there who are Trump supporters that are saying that Joe Biden is guilty of something because of the stuff that they've seen, take a look back to Donald Trump in the 2016 election and get back to me on that. And yes, to those of you who thought I was kidding when I said I would stand with people with whom I disagree with when they are accused of sexual assault, okay, I am. I'm standing with a Democrat who is a major hypocrite on sexual assault because that's the decent thing to do. So, if you don't know, I'm not going to use names here, except for one particular name, Ash Carter, because of, there's always been this picture going around of Ash Carter's wife being, a bit handied by Joe Biden, but she's always been saying for years, and ever since this picture's come out, and every time it comes up in the news, that she never felt uncomfortable. She felt Joe was being supportive of her. And this is the overall, what is, the general consensus with the people who were coming out about this stuff, saying that they may have felt that it was inappropriate now, but then they just thought that he was being affectionate. They thought he was being supportive, especially with people who had suffered tragedies that he was talking to. He wasn't trying, didn't appear to them, they was trying to be, assaulting people. And yeah, that just didn't seem like there were anything wrong. And that's a totally reasonable assumption to really have. And then something happened about a week ago now, or is either a week ago now, or it happened at the beginning of the week. But this lady, who I'm going to state, and we're going to state this now, she was recently seen at a Beto O'Rourke rally, came forward saying that while she was running for this certain office in the state of Nevada, he got a bit handsy with her, put his hands on her shoulder or something like that, whispered in her ear something, and then just before they went on stage, this happened just before they went on stage. And she hasn't said anything about this for more than a few years now. And what she's been saying has basically been what everybody else has been saying, that he may have been just being too affectionate, and that I don't think it was sexual assault, but it was super inappropriate. So why didn't you tell him that? You could just say, hey, I don't like where this is going, okay? And also, this is basically Vic Mignogna 2.0, which is really fucking shocking to me. The Vic Mignogna 2.0 is going to be Joe Biden. That's just fucking great. So she came out and was like, he was just being a bit too handy, but it wasn't sexual assault or anything like that. So I mean, at least when compared to the Vic Mignogna situation, they're at least treating Biden with a bit more dignity and respect and not making up false shit about him. because all this shit seems plausible. I mean, you can make a general assumption based on his past behavior, but no one, I don't think anyone, can definitively say, unless there is some actual stuff that comes out, that he was, abusing anyone or sexually assaulting anybody. All right, he's not doing what Al Franken did and was grabbing people by the ass. He wasn't doing that at all. And the thing with Al Franken was not only was he grabbing women by the asses, he did it in front of the fucking camera. Maybe me a bigger dumbass when it comes to sexual stuff in the political sphere right now than Al Franken. I'm surprised that dude hasn't still been ostracized, because he was never ostracized. Like, people were like, hey, he should resign, and he ended up resigning. But then people were like, no, let him stay. And we were just like, okay. So you have this stuff going on, and now it seems that the Democratic Party is finally ready to turn on Joe Biden, which is a big mistake, because Joe Biden is legitimately, I think, the one person who can actually contest with Trump in the general election. Because, I mean, face it, Bernie's gone too radical. People like Tim Pool, who supported him in the 2016 election, have already left him. You have other people in the race like Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang, who actually have more of an appeal to younger people who don't want to go with the rest of the Democratic Party narrative. But that's also a bad thing, because, there's a lot of people mixed in. Not saying that the moderates in there are a bad thing. I like Tulsi Gabbard actually a little bit. Andrew Yang has actually gone on the Ben Shapiro Sunday special, so at least he's willing to have a conversation with people. But man, the Democratic primary is going to be fucking crowded this year, more so than they were in 2016. Well, more so than the Republicans were in 2016, because remember, 2016, Democrats had 3, 4, maybe 5 people running for office. Republicans had at least 10 or 12. Now it's going to be 14, 15 people for the Democrats? It's going to be crazy. So to me, I'm looking at it, it just seems like a Democratic political hit job on themselves, which is the most ironic fucking thing in the world, because they like to do this a lot. I mean, they like to do the political hit jobs and stuff, especially when it comes to people on the other side, but they have done it to themselves. Like I said, the Al Franken stuff is a good example. So, yeah, just looking at it, just whole political hit job, just big hill hit job on themselves, and it's not going to help anything. And it's also prompted a lot of people to come out and say, regardless of the shit, he shouldn't run, because, Joe Biden was an emissary of the Obama administration. I think the left is finally starting to see that the Obama administration was shit. But not in the way that the general populace thinks that it's shit. All right, they're going to get onto him for the same shit. They're going to be like, oh, no, he wasn't progressive enough. We need to go more progressive. We need to go more to the left, even though most Democrats want to be moderate. The mainstream Democratic Party, however, they're in a bit of a bind. And honestly, I think this is going to be the biggest thing that's going to defeat Democrats in 2020, is how batshit crazy they've gotten. I mean, you have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is legitimately the dumbest person in politics. Don't at me. Legitimately the dumbest person in politics. Dragging out shit like the Green New Deal, and then telling people, oh, I'm the boss. You're not actually wanting to have a conversation about these things, even though we've been trying to have conversations about this shit for over 20 years. Left and right. And then, you have these freaking radicals in the Democratic Party just gaining power, defending anti-Semitism on a routine basis, not calling out sexual assault on their side unless it's convenient for them, and going crazy about the Trump-Russia narrative like Maxine Waters still is, for some fucking reason. And also having Beto O'Rourke being an absolute schlag, somehow still ranked 3rd in the standings, giving tribute to Louis Farrakhan with other Democratic candidates. Well, not Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, though they are, I think a couple of them are still linked with Louis Farrakhan. But going up to Al Sharpton, a guy who literally incited racial riots, like the Crown Heights stuff back in the 90s. Al Sharpton is a major race baiter. Why are you going with him? So to me, it just seems like the Democrats are just imploding themselves. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do what the Republicans were doing in 2016, at least a good portion of them, that because Mitt Romney, who was as soft-spoken a Republican as you could get, was defeated, they were like, okay, we need to go somebody in there who won't take the shit from the Democrats, because the big criticism of Mitt Romney is that he never fought back, which was admirable, but in a way mistaken, because especially in the world of politics, if you don't fight back when false shit gets put out about you, you're basically done. You're basically done. So that's what they're trying to do. And I think the person who's going to screech the loudest will win, even though, like I said, Joe Biden is leading everyone in the Democratic polls so far. And, I think the Democratic Party in general doesn't want Joe Biden to run, even though I think the older people in the Democratic Party are still like, hey, we should go with Biden. He's the moderate guy in the room, apparently, even though he's nowhere near moderate. Not as at least he used to be. But yeah. And then, oh yeah, remember Elizabeth Warren? Apparently she's still trying to run. She also apparently accused people of sexism for not giving her money. So that's a thing, even though she literally was found to be not of Native American ancestry when she claimed to be, which is still the funniest thing ever. So, I'm sorry to Joe Biden. I mean, it is ironic that the guy who says believe all women is trying to defend himself against that stance now. But, I mean, like I said, I hope he comes out of this okay. He doesn't deserve to be getting raked over the coals for this shit. At the very least, all we should just do is tell him, hey, kind of calm down with how you're around people. And at most, just take him to the back room, have an intervention, tell him, hey, stop being so daggone affectionate. At least, at the most and the least, just do either of those things. And then actually have a play of policies and not a play of virtue signaling, please, for the love of God. Just do that. Just do that, because you're imploding yourself and you're just giving Trump more and more of a chance of winning. All right, all you got to do to beat Trump in 2020 is not act like you're batshit insane. Stop endorsing people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And stop defending anti-Semitism in your own party from people like Rashid Tlaib and that Omar chick. You'd be doing just fine, but you don't care. You don't care at all. Oh, and I also wanted to have a bonus rant about this whole abortion thing in Georgia. Apparently, many voice actor have decided that. Well, not a voice actor. Many an actor and actresses are planning to boycott Georgia because they want to boycott this bill that basically says that if a baby has a heartbeat, you can't abort it in the womb, which I think is it's fine. It's fine. Okay? Here's my whole view on abortion when it comes to the states. Let the states do what they fucking want. I may not agree with abortion. I do not like it. I don't like it very much. But if a state wants to, and this is the whole thing about Roe versus Wade, is that it didn't leave things up to the states to interpret what they wanted to interpret when it comes to, abortion laws. Which is what the state should be able to do. It's literally in the United States fucking Constitution. States should be able to do what they want outside the jurisdiction of the federal government, and the Supreme Court fucked that up. So what I would say is, go on ahead, Georgia, do what you want with your abortion bill, okay? I don't like New York's abortion bill at all, especially with the proclamation, but not only that, and the guy in Virginia, who still hasn't resigned, by the way, that you can kill a baby nearly up to birth, and then in some cases after birth. That's fucking insane. But they still have, they're still in the jurisdiction to do what they want, unless there's major ethics violations, but there probably would be in the New York one. But there's no serious major ethics violation in the Georgia one from what I see, unless they're trying to close down all the clinics like Texas keeps trying to do, which we know would not fly. I think what you should do is you should limit abortion as much as you can, do the 20-week thing that Rick Perry tried to do. But also at least keep the clinics open, just in case. Give them just a bit of funding. And no one should complain about that. Right? no abortions past 20 weeks, which is what most people support. People support early trimester abortions, not late trimester abortions. So they're literally going against what most people want. But then you're also going against what most people want by doing the early trimester ban. Still, they should be able to do whatever they want. One person wants to go to one extreme, one person wants to go to another extreme, or at least those states want to go to one extreme or the other. They should be able to do what they want in terms of that. And if you want to have your own state that's in the medium, go to that state. But to say that you're just going to boycott the entire state of Georgia, basically remove an entire subsect of the population from your funds, like you're not going to get any money from them, you're not going to go over there, you're basically going to punish the people of Georgia from your presence because of something that the legislature did in the state. That's pretty petty. And some of the people I'm going to mention on here, two of them I rather enjoy as actors, Seth Green and Mark Hamill. God damn it, Mark, stop it. Seth Green, why, my boy? Robot Chicken, man. And then Alyssa Milano, who I do not particularly enjoy. She won't shut the fuck up. She literally needs to shut the fuck up. She should not be talking about politics at all. She don't know what she's talking about. She also tried using God as a defense for the shit she keeps saying. Like, oh, I believe in God, but then she's like, oh no, I'm just going to contradict what I'm saying in the same sentence of a tweet. All that shit. Like, she needs to stay the fuck off Twitter. Like, Jesus Christ, the only good role I have ever seen her in was playing the little girl from Commando. That's literally it. That's literally the only thing I've actually seen her in where she does a good job to me. I haven't seen her in anything else that makes me think, oh, hey, she's okay of an actress. No. At least with Mark Hamill, I can forgive him because he's Luke Skywalker. Seth Green, I can forgive him because he's just a good talent. But then you also have people like Don, whatever his name is, the guy who plays Rhodey in Iron Man, and a couple other people. They're just your typical left-wingers. And probably Chris Evans because, you know, I want to ban people from being in my clique because they may or may not support Trump. And it's just like, good fucking Lord. So, yeah, so there's just a little bonus rant for you in there. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't, guy, and I'll see you guys later.